Welcome back, Tribe, to another mobile gaming video. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at Age of Origins, and most specifically, we are looking at research priorities within the game. Big shout out to our boys, Age of Origins, for sponsoring this video. Let's break this down. Alrighty, so Age of Origins, ladies and gentlemen, there is a building known as the Academy, and at the Academy, we are able to research various technologies to help advance specific areas of the game. Now, the importance of this is so manyfold because it helps you with your research, it helps you with your the speed at which you can increase troops, it helps you heal up troops that are wounded, it helps you build buildings faster, it helps you send out bigger armies. So it's quite important to make sure you tackle this in the right way. But the Academy is not the only place that we can research things. Let's just help out our allies very, very quickly. Now, the front walls that you have, your city walls, also have defensive towers that you can research further upgrades on. Now, based on the level of your tower walls and the level of your overall capital, this will change. You can also get additional research over here in your garage, where you can get things like increased load levels. If we check a look at this, we can see that I currently need to upgrade my garage in order to increase that. That load level will increase the amount of resources that you can get. Gather equipment, for example, is one that I'm researching right now. Engine level, GPS, these all help sort of the speed at which you travel, the amount of resources that you can gain, and that sort of thing. You can see you can also get stuff like medical facilities and that sort of thing. Maximum number of wounded people that you can hold at any given time. You can also gain, the wounded ratio in battle, which is instead of losing units when you go, instead of them dying, you'll be able to recover them, and they will be sent to the hospital so that you can actually replenish your army supplies. Now, these researches, like I said, are very important. When it comes to the garage in particular, I like to have the gather equipment speed over here because that increases our gather efficiency. So when we're going off out into the world map to gather resources such as food, oil, steel, etc., etc. As you see, I'm gathering some steel over here. If we check, I've got a gather speed here of 4,500 per hour that you can boost with various boosts, but that is impacted by the researches that you undertake. So, as those are rather minimal within the garage, the real big section of it does come under the Academy. So as you can see, it's broken up into 4 different subsections. You've got your resources over here, which help you with your production of your oil, your food, your steel, etc., etc. You can see your load boost here, which increases the number of troops that you can send out when you're going to farm or go out to farm various resources on the map. The depot over here, that's the capacity that you can hold, so that when your city gets attacked, you can hold some of your resources in the depot and they won't be able to be stolen. So it's quite useful to have that if you're in a highly PvP environment. Obviously, you can increase your food production. That's just your general food output that you can see through your various farms over here. All of these, the output that these give you, you can increase that on a global scale across your entire base just by researching the relevant research in relation to resources, as you can see. And you've got something for every single type of resource. So the load boost is quite important if you're going out and farming from the various farms out on the world map, or your Alliance elite farms can be quite useful. And then you've got your various production researches that help you in-house, okay? So the development side of it is all about the city buildings. You can see architecture over here. This increases your construction speed. So when you're building new units, or when you're upgrading, not new units, when you're building new buildings and you're upgrading those buildings to further levels, you will have a decreased speed there. There's also the mobility. Now, the mobility is whenever you send out your convoys out to either attack other towns or attack monsters on the world map, or going out to gather resources, that sort of thing, you end up using fuel. So this type of research will increase the rate at which you recover your fuel. Rapid feet over here increases your fleet speed specifically when attacking monsters on the world map and medical facilities. This increases your maximum number of wounded people. So again, wounded people is when you send them out to attack monsters or attack at the cities. You will have a percentage of your army get injured and died. The injured people you can recover at your hospital. This will increase or decrease the time it takes for those to be recovered. Now, again, if you are in a PvP heavy environment, or if you yourself are undertaking a lot of attacks on monsters, on world bosses, on other players, then perhaps you want to focus a little bit more on getting that wounded these medical facilities to decrease the time in which you are recovering your your units. You can also increase the research speed of your technology. So if you are going very, very heavy on researching, which I do think everybody should, I think everybody should be researching constantly at any given time. You don't really want any downtime. This research here will actually increase the speed of which your technology researches, which can be quite useful. You've also got tax rate over here, reduces the transport taxes. So when you're sending resources to an ally, if you are sending resources from one farm to another, for example, a percentage of that will get taxed. You can research this tax rate to reduce that taxation, which is quite useful. There's one thing certain, as they said, is death and taxes, and that's true of even in video games, it seems. And you've got additional researchers here to help decrease the time of that wounded healing. The ratio of troops killed in battle is converted to wounded. This is also another very useful bit of research if you are conducting a lot of PvP, okay? So when you know that building an army takes a long time, and whenever you go out and attack things and you lose units, it can be a pain to try and recover those. So this will stop you from losing so many units in those battles. Instead, they will be wounded instead of being killed, which is super, super important. One thing I do want to touch on that I didn't mention earlier as well, actually, is the fact that your officers that you have within your buildings can benefit your research speed. For example, we've got Doc Brown over here. He has a base ability up here, a base skill that increases the research speed. Mine is currently at 15.36%. So if you're going to be doing a lot of researching, then perhaps think about applying or appointing officers within your city that really help you with your research speed. You see basic research speed here, research speed there. You want to look for the higher tiers. Typically, the higher the rarity of the officer that you're applying, the higher the benefit is to your research in this case. But you can see you've also got stuff for gathering, engineering, etc., etc. This one increases construction speed, which is, again, quite useful. Okay, so let's get back to the research itself. We've gone over development. That's more around your city building and that sort of thing. We've got city defense here, and this is really about defending your city itself when it gets attacked, but also this can help in the tower defense game. Okay, so quite useful to increase the the cooldowns on the various weapons that you have at your town. You've also got your alliance defenses, which increases the HP limit of city troops. So when you're getting attacked by another player, it'll increase the HP of your troops. And then you've got the max city defense. Again, for those of you that are looking at towards sort of later game and want to be conducting a lot of PvP, you're probably going to make yourself some enemies. So increasing your city defense is going to be quite useful to you. The final one, and I think, in my opinion, the most important subsection of research is military. In particular, leadership. Over here, leadership will increase the max limit of your fleet troops. So when you're sending your army out to attack players, to attack monsters, etc., etc., maxing out your leadership allows you to send a larger army. Okay, so we're increasing our fleet troop limit by 7,000, and there are 2 stages of this that I've unlocked so far, or I'm working on getting this second set of leadership 2, again, is going to increase that max level. I would highly recommend a lot of people try to focus on leadership early if you're doing a lot of attacks, because it will help you things as well as raiding, for example, raiding the city ruins with your guild. So do find it very, very useful. You can see you can even go down to leadership 3 as you progress through your city and increase the max level of your capital and the research center itself. You also have things like your melee weapons, which will help your melee troops. You've got your max soldier recruitment that you can increase. You've got your mid-range weapons for your sort of assault rifles and your sniper rifles, and your long-range weapons for your, that'll be the snipers, and your rocket launchers and that sort of thing. Okay? You've also can increase your HP and your speed in which your fleet travels as well. And then various benefits to increase the health, and as well units that you can upgrade in the workshop, which is another type of army recruitment that you can see just up here. We can choose to recruit additional units through this building. Okay, so the research is of paramount importance, guys. You want to constantly make sure that you are always upgrading that research center. Make sure you're increasing research at a constant pace, so that you don't fall behind. Okay, let me know down in the comment section below, what researches do you undertake on a regular basis, and what tips do you have for beginning players? Thank you so much. This is going to about do it for this particular video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and big love.